Hi everybody, and welcome to Season 76 of Bearcat Update. For today, I'll be updating you on how the seasons are looking for our spring sports. From basketball winding down, the toppling of MIAA track and field records, and everything in between. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get right into it. The women's basketball team wrapped up the regular season this week, getting big wins over Newman and Emporia State. Fifth-year senior Molly Hartnett scored a career-high 31 against the Newman Jets as she led the Bearcats to an 82-76 overtime victory. They followed that up with one of their most dominant performances of the season on Senior Day. The Bearcats led Emporia State from the opening tip to the final buzzer, winning 70-51 and bringing their regular season record to a close at 15-14. With that win, they'll now turn their attention to the MIAA tournament, where they'll look to go on a Cinderella run as the 8th seed. To do so, they'll have to beat Missouri Southern in the first round, who they previously beat 62-54 on February 13th. Our crew member Lauren Slocum recently had the opportunity to sit down with Molly Hartnett as we learn more about her final season with the Bearcats.
The women's basketball team faces a difficult up-and-coming goodbye as the season nears its end. Molly Hartnett, a fifth-year senior, has taken big steps in helping the Bearcats succeed throughout her years. Not only is Hartnett the third Bearcat in program history to surpass 1,400 points and 300 assists, but she has also led the team in average points per game in back-to-back seasons. While those are outstanding career accomplishments, Hartnett says her biggest accomplishment is watching how the team has grown and improved together throughout the years.
Coming out here with my team and growing from one step to another every year. We've gotten better every single year. It's a testament to all the girls and all the work that they put in and the coaches and their recruiting. So I feel like that's just a huge accomplishment, going from the bottom to all the way near the top. And it's just been really special to see all the growth that this team has had.
Hartnett, along with other Bearcats, have truly stepped up to the plate this season to help the team's success. She is currently averaging 11.5 points per game with a season-high 28 points against Washburn. Hartnett wants to see her team succeed and is constantly working to get better. She says her teammates are her biggest motivators. Each one of them pushes each other to work harder and improve their game day after day. Hartnett's end goal for the season is to finish strong and end on a high note. Being a fifth year, she has taken a leadership role in the team to help coach the younger girls. This has helped build team chemistry, and Hartnett says the team has really started to come together these last few weeks. The Bearcats have good momentum with wins under their belt going into the conference tournament, and all of us here at Bearcat Update wish the team good luck going into their final games. This has been Lauren for Bearcat Update. Back to you.
The men's basketball season came to an end yesterday after back-to-back losses against Newman and Emporia State. Following their first consecutive wins of the season, the Bearcats returned home where they fell 59-71 to the Newman Jets, marking the first time the Bearcats have lost to their conference foe. A few days later, they looked to end the season on a high note as they hosted Emporia State at home. Unfortunately, it was not in the cards for the Bearcats as they fell to the Hornets 67-79. It was a disappointing first season under new head coach Matt Keeley, to say the least. The 6-2 record marked their first losing season since the 2010-11 season, where they finished 10-16. Victory also eluded the Bearcats at home all season with an 0-10 record at Bearcat Arena. Coach Keeley will look to build the program back to its winning ways with his first full offseason. As we head into the first break of the show, make sure to stick around as we catch up with our spring sports. We'll be right back.
Here at Tower Yearbook, we are a dedicated staff of photographers, designers, copywriters, and practicum students.
Our staff is a student-led, student-run media outlet, producing a book with over 300 pages. Be sure to pop out at any of our portrait or distribution events.
So stay tuned to our social media to see what's up.
Stay on top of current events and the biggest stories of the week with Northwest News.
Welcome back to Northwest News. I'm Skylar Stamps.
And I'm Wiley Ray.
Get all the latest news coverage and updates about Northwest, the Maryville community, and ways you can stay involved on and off campus. Northwest News every Sunday, live at 11 on KNWT TV.
New baseball head coach Tony Jandrin got his first taste of action at home following an 0-3 road trip in Joplin. The boys in green were able to take 2 of 3 from the Concordia St. Paul Bulldogs on their home diamond. At 6-8 early in the year, putting up runs hasn't been a challenge for our Bearcats, as they currently average over 8 runs a game. However, the opponents have been able to get the better of the Bearcats' pitching rotation, hitting a .352 batting average and over 9 runs a game. The Bearcats will head to Macomb, Illinois for a one-off game against Western Illinois on Tuesday. They will then wrap up their week at home as they host conference rival Washburn University in a 3-game series. Softball has had a busy week as they'll play in their 10th match in 7 days today. Through 8 of their games this week, they've managed a 5-3 record and are back above 500 as they're now 6-8 headed in today's matchup against Augustana and Maryville. The week has produced a few stars as senior Lily Filger managed 4 hits and 3 runs in yesterday's 15-1 bashing of Southern Baptist. But on Tuesday, it was the rookie that created waves as Erica Gore managed a near no-hitter on 72 pitches against Rockhurst. The Bearcats are in mid-season form as they have found their rhythm. Track and field is currently competing in the MIAA championships as they will look for bids to the NCAA championship in 11 days. The women's distance medley relay team had no problem answering that call as they set the MIAA record for the event. For the event so far, the men sit 4th overall in rankings and the women sit at 7th. In tomorrow's finals, we'll know which Bearcats will represent at the championships. Hey, it's halftime. If you like what you see, make sure to like, subscribe, and click the bell to be the first to know when we post new content. When we get back, we're going to send it over to Wiley Ray with BCU with the X.
Here at Tower Yearbook, we are a dedicated staff of photographers, designers, copywriters, and practicum students.
Our staff is a student-led, student-run media outlet producing a book with over 300 pages. Be sure to pop out at any of our portrait or distribution events.
So stay tuned to our social media to see what's up.
Stay on top of current events and the biggest stories of the week with Northwest News.
Welcome back to Northwest News. I'm Skylar Stamps.
And I'm Wiley Ray.
Get all the latest news coverage and updates about Northwest, the Maryville community, and ways you can stay involved on and off campus. Northwest News every Sunday, live at 11 on KNWT TV.
We're going to shake things up a bit here from X106.7. I'm Wiley Ray. Let's get right into it. Cue the intro. It was senior day Saturday for the women's and men's squads here at Bearcat Arena, and the women's team gets a big win, 70-51, and leading the way was senior Kelsey Fields, 10 points, 15 rebounds for Fields in her final home game for the Bearcats. Leading the way also was Kaylee Keston with 12 total points, and our women's basketball player of the week was Molly Hartnett, 9 points, 4 assists for the Bearcats. Bearcats didn't win the turnover battle as they had 14 turnovers to the Hornets 4. However, they did win the second chance margin, 19 to Emporia State's 2. Bearcats led for a total of 39 minutes in this one, and after securing back-to-back winning seasons for the first time in 17 years, we figured it was time to preview the postseason as the girls head to Kansas City for MIAA Madness. Take it away, Kassidy.
For this 2024 to 2025 season, the Bearcats have been all over the place. With a 14-14 win-loss ratio, the Bearcats' game against Emporia State on Saturday determined it all. The Bearcats sit at a .500 PCT overall. Within the conference, they are 7-11 with a .389 PCT. They've won 4 out of the 9 home games and 5 out of the 12 away games. They started the season playing in the Livin' the Dream exhibition and won 71-67. During the Central Region Women's Basketball Showcase, the Bearcats took home back-to-back wins against MSU Moorhead and number 1 Minnesota State. Early in the season, the Bearcats were on a hot streak of 6 wins in a row. That was until Missouri Western decided to take that title away. After losing 48-57 to Missouri Western on December 3rd, the Bearcats took to a 6-game losing streak that finally ended when they played Central Missouri, when they won 66-58. The rest of the season was pretty rocky, with wins and losses rotating at a consistent pace, but the Bearcats were still unable to obtain a winning streak. On Saturday, our Lady Bearcats pulled a 70-51 win against Emporia State, and on Wednesday, the Bearcats will travel to Kansas City to play Missouri Southern in the MIAA tournament, and hopefully pull a win with that game. As always, all of us with Bearcat Update will be cheering the Lady Bearcats on. I'm Kassidy Davis, and I'll be back next time with more.
Thanks, Kassidy. As the women's won the first game, the men's team fell in the second one, a score of 79-67. Kyrie Dixon for Emporia State led the way with another double-double, 15 points and 20 rebounds for the Hornets. Highlighting the Bearcats' offense was Luke Moustakis with 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 steals. And the freshman, Marcus Glock, asserting himself as a weapon on this Bearcat offense, had 13 points. Emery Knox had 10 points, 5 assists. And our Bearcat men's basketball player of the week goes to Byron Alexander, as Alexander had 8 points and 12 rebounds. The Bearcats didn't win the turnover margin with 15 total turnovers to Emporia State 6, and the Hornets had a 9-0 start to start things in the first 30 seconds of Saturday's matchup. But with all the talk about Byron's play on the court, our director Dante Distefano sat down with the man to get his Northwest origin story.
Senior forward Byron Alexander has wrapped up his final season in the Bearcat uniform. But how did Byron make his way to the small town of Maryville?
Well, it's kind of funny because my sister graduated from here, and whenever she was moving in as a freshman, I remember coming up here and I was like, oh my gosh, like, why would I ever want to come here?
Coming out of high school, he was at the top of Ben McCollum's recruiting list. As Coach McCollum stated, Byron is a fantastic athlete and will have a chance to be an elite defender in our league. Coach Neff's players always have great energy, and Byron is no different. When Byron ultimately chose to join the Green, he immediately made his mark. As a true freshman, he achieved something that less than 1% of college athletes ever get to experience: a national title.
That was just a really cool experience, just going to Evansville, being with the team afterwards, and just being at school afterwards, because it felt like every person wanted to talk to you about it, and it was just very overwhelming, but at the same time very exciting.
During his freshman season for the Bearcats, he was an absolute beast. While coming off the bench, he averaged 19 minutes, 4 rebounds, and 6 points per game, being a great sixth man for the Bearcats on their historical run. But with the Bearcats' reign over Division II, everything must come to an end. Head coach Ben McCollum decided to take a new path for his career this past year, getting a job with Drake University as the new head coach. McCollum then asked his Bearcats to come join him on his Division I journey, leaving Byron to make a tough decision.
I had to decide whether I was going to go with him to Drake or stay in Maryville. I was actually really leaning towards going to Drake, and that was a pretty tough time because everyone kind of wanted me to make a decision as soon as possible, and it's just like, Maryville's been good to me. The people here are nice. There's just a lot of things going on that had played a part in that decision-making process, and I ended up staying here, and I don't regret it. I do wonder if I would have had more fun, but I just want to finish strong and become a Northwest alum.
This season, Byron is averaging 24 minutes, 6 points, and 6 rebounds per game. Number 11's career may be over here at Northwest, but his story will not be forgotten. What's next for Byron Alexander, you ask? Well, that story starts now. For Bearcat Update, I'm Dante Distefano. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Dante. Now it's time for Ray's plays and highlights. We're going to head to the film room here for our first play in a Byron Alexander offensive drive. Take a look at this one. Javion Byers brings it over to Alexander. He goes right, looks left, loses control, but gets it back, goes with the layup. We're going to break it down here a little bit more as we start this play from the top. So Byers gets it. Stop right here. As you see, Alexander, he comes with that left pivot foot. He looks to the right to try and find that open lane as Moustakis comes up to offer an aid to Byers. But let's take a deeper look on Alexander. As I mentioned, he looks to his right, and then he's going to fake to the right and go drive to the left. Let's let this play roll. As you see, he fakes to the right, drives to the left, loses control, but keeps it despite the tip by the Newman Jets defender, ultimately leading for a Byron Alexander score. Now we're going to take it over to the defensive side of things for Byron Alexander and going into a defensive rebound by Byron. And this is a great breakdown by Byron here as we're going to roll it right here. Let's take a look. Is this one, you see Byron starts to break it down defensively. He looks over, he sees the defender, they give it up. He's able to crash that board, ultimately getting the rebound. We're going to dive a little bit more into this and break down that defense of Byron Alexander. So Alexander stays with his defender, makes his defender give it up, gets him a little off his feet, but look right here, stop. As you see, he has his eyes on both the ball and the defender. Eyes looking towards the ball, but yet he still sees in that corner of his eye, he's looking back at that defender. And we know this, every level of game you play at, your coach always teaches you, keep an eye on the ball and your defender, let this play roll out here, and he does it. He looks at the defender, looks at the ball, sees the shot go up, ultimately getting the rebound and drawing the foul for the Bearcats. Our third and final play goes to the women's basketball and being Molly Hartnett. Molly Hartnett, a weapon on the floor for the Bearcats, and right here's the reason why. She drives with her right hand, sees her defender off step. We're going to break it down here. Stop right here. So as you see, Hartnett has her defender beat where her defender opens up. As a defender, you don't want to do that, and Hartnett sees it, allowing herself to drive. Now, with Hartnett driving towards the baseline, attempting the layup, she has two options at this point. She can either go attempt drive for the layup, or she can dish it out for a corner three, and this has been a quick weapon for the Bearcats all season, and you're going to see this be a quick weapon as they head to Kansas City for March Madness. This has been another edition of BCU with the X. We'll be back in a week. Next up, we're going to send it to Jaden Varner as he runs down next week's Bearcat schedule.
Welcome back to Next Week in Bearcat Sports. I'm your host, Jaden Varner, back to give you the rundown for Bearcat Sports. Softball is in action today, taking part in the Midwest College Classic. They began play at 10 this morning and are playing right now against Maryville. After today, they'll have a nice break with their next game scheduled for March 7th against Nebraska Kearney. After that, they'll finally head home to play their first home series of the year, taking on Augustana on March 9th. Look for Amara Love to keep playing great ball as she takes over the top batting average on the team, with Lexus Brown not too far behind. I expect some nice wins against Nebraska Kearney and Augustana. Good luck, Bearcats. For baseball, they finished a 3-game series Saturday against Concordia St. Paul, taking 2 of 3 from the Bulldogs. They'll turn their attention to a quick one-off game against Western Illinois, and then a 3-game series hosting the Washburn Ichabods. That'll take place on March 7th through the 9th, and I'm once again hoping for the Bearcats to take 2 out of 3. Ryan Williams continues to be great for the Bearcats, leading the team in hits and batting average. Look for him to continue his hot streak. The women's basketball team will head to Kansas City on Wednesday to begin play in the MIAA tournament. They'll be taking on Missouri Southern, who they defeated once this season already. They played back on February 13th, and we saw the Bearcats get a 62-54 win. I anticipate them doing that again and moving forward in the tournament. Make sure to go out and support your Bearcats. That's all I have for you this week. I'll see you next week. Back to you, Jason.
Thanks Thanks, Jaden. We're going to take our final break of the show, so make sure we stick around as we wrap up Bearcat Update.
Hey Tyrell, why don't you tell everyone what we do here?
But yeah, of course, because here at Alternatives and Options, we find uncommon solutions to common problems. For instance, did you know that tinfoil could be used as an alternative to batteries?
Our goal is to find the most effective, efficient, and affordable options for you.
Whether we're in the lab.
So how much do you really know about laundry detergent? Or on the field? We'll do our best
to give you the best
alternatives and options.
Before we head out, we'd like to acknowledge the passing of Jace Wilms. In just 19 years, Jace left an incredible mark on not just the football program, but on every Bearcat he interacted with. On behalf of everyone with Bearcat Update, we'd like to offer our condolences and our hearts with the Wilms family. This has been Bearcat Update.